Support for this episode of the PowerCast comes from Mark Bell's Slingshot. Check out the all-new website at howmuchyoubench.net. Bench heavy with no pain with Mark Bell's Slingshot. Powerlifting apparel for people who lift heavy-ass weight from apemanstrong.com. NaturalOrganics.com, the official home of Urban Ice Organics Kratom. Keep your mind and body synchronized. Head over to NaturalOrganics.com. That's natural, ORGANIX.com. And bodybuilding.com. Bodybuilding.com is the world's #1 fitness website and supplement store. Bodybuilding.com also has free fitness plans for every fitness level. Visit bodybuilding.com today to become your best self. In this episode, we take a bunch of your questions, talk about the passing of Buddy Ryan and the 1985 Chicago Bears, that creepy Kanye video everyone's talking about, and what the heck is going on with spotting in powerlifting meets. Do us a favor and like and share this video and enjoy number 154.
Recorded live at Super Training Gym in West Sacramento, California, this is Mark Bell's PowerCast. Alongside Silent Mike and Jim McD, here's your host, Mark Bell.
I feel pretty blessed. I don't have to hear that voice once a week now.
Yeah, I know. It's a terribly fat voice, isn't it?
I need an insulin shot after I hear it.
Yeah, it's gross. You can see here, for those of you that are viewing this, see Jesus Christ is holding up a Bo Jackson card.
I think you can also see that Salt and Pepper's here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the salt. I don't know why that's there. But
that's a really good question. We're sponsored by Morton now.
The salt's important. I mean, it's going to help you get big and jacked, keep you hydrated.
Agreed.
Sponsored by
all that info.
You can just sprinkle it in your water.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsored by high blood pressure.
Along with some Tren.
Salt and Tren?
Salt and Tren. Mike, are you old enough to have seen the 85 Bears?
No. I was 3 years before I was born.
God damn, you're going to need a fucking time machine.
And
Mike.
then it was probably before I was like understanding what sports was. It was probably maybe 10 years.
So, have you ever seen the Super Bowl Shuffle?
No, I don't think so.
No. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Super Bowl Shuffle.
I don't think I know any of this.
Oh, the Super Bowl Shuffle is amazing. We're going to show it to you right now. But Buddy Ryan, the Chicago Bears defensive coordinator at the time, Ditka, a guy by the name of Mike Ditka.
I've heard of these teams.
Was the head coach back in the day of the Bears, 85 Bears, who beat the shit out of the New England Patriots on that Super Bowl Sunday.
This is just the song and not the video.
Might be cock blocked somehow, but the
YouTube
85 Bears are kind of renowned as having the greatest defensive team of all time.
Similar to the 80s Detroit Pistons?
Yeah, exactly. And then also, similar to some of those Ray Lewis Baltimore Raven teams.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think I've seen these clips.
Yeah, it's a little rusty.
Yeah, I've seen these clips.
A little chunky.
Got the fridge. You got Mike Singletary in there. Walter Payton.
Jim McMahon.
Damn. Those are the goddamn days. But yeah, Buddy Ryan passed away. He's the kind of the creator of the 46 defense. So a 4-6 defense means that you have literally everybody on the line of scrimmage except for one dude. That's 10 guys in the box. And he just said, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to put a lot of pressure on people, and you're going to have to figure out how to block us. And no one could figure it out. But it was kind of short-lived. The time that it happened, a lot of these players were chewed up and spit out by what kind of now is free agency, I guess. These players started to kind of move around, and so they couldn't keep the talent level on the team anymore. But these guys were loaded. That's Willie Gault, who was a world-class sprinter.
Turn wide receiver or something?
Yep, wide receiver.
Look at those hips.
I know.
I could tell he's world-class.
They call me Sweetness because I like to dance. Running the ball is like making romance. Samurai Mike.
Did they make a whole song?
Yeah, they made a whole song. It's
That's
sick.
amazing.
It's
How
sick.
viral would that go nowadays if this happened?
Oh my God, it would be amazing. It was actually it's like fun, you know.
Yeah.
It's just really like it's cool that they all participated in it. You know, like half of them probably thought it was stupid, but look how amazing it looks. A guy playing a cowbell the entire
was that the
time.
kicker or something?
kicker playing the cowbell the entire time. And it's something these guys could go back and watch at any time, right? Like they can go back and watch it when they're in their fucking 60s or whatever.
Yeah, it looks so ridiculous.
Anyway, any fucking way. Got James Harrison and some other guys kind of under fire. It's kind of interesting. Bigger, Stronger, Faster at this point is, from the time it was filmed, it's probably a good 10, 11 years old almost. From the time it came out, it's probably like 8 years old, something like that, right?
It's 8 years since it came out, yeah.
Yeah, it's but these topics keep resurfacing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
James Harrison of the Pittsburgh Steelers has not, I don't think he's tested positive for anything quite yet, but there's just been some weird shit going on with him, and then kind of the stuff with Peyton Manning. With Harrison, they went to his house and tried to do like a random drug test, and he recorded it for like Twitter and Instagram and stuff. And then it just kind of became this big thing with the NFL. They weren't sure if you could record it or couldn't record it, and then the company that did do the test, they do have a policy that you can't record anything like that. So they came back again and tested him again. And then it just kind of became a big thing. But all these things just keep flaring up over and over again, these kind of same situations.
What was I watching the other day where somebody actually they recorded for TV the piss test?
Yeah, it's probably James Harrison. He recorded it and put it on social media.
This wasn't on social media though. This was like maybe on HBO or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe it might have been part of like Hard Knocks. That was his whole point was James Harrison's like, well, you got shows like Hard Knocks that are entertainment and they show behind the scenes. I'm just trying to show behind the scenes.
Right.
But they thought that he was trying to show something different. But it is invasive. I mean, they would come into your house, they make you just drop your pants and take a leak right there.
Oh, I know what it was on. It was on John Oliver's show, I think. It was the beginning of John Oliver's show because he was talking about the about the Russian track team,
right?
And they were the guy who was at the monitor watching him pee looked like he was rethinking his whole life.
Jesus,
like why am I standing here watching another man pee?
Right.
Is it true the entire nation of Russia got kicked out of the Olympics?
The track and field.
This year?
I heard something that because so many track and field people and so many weightlifters were getting popped that they were thinking about just like letting no team in.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Just because they popped like everybody.
A lot of people don't want to go because of Zika too, and I really can't blame them.
Yeah, Braun's not going.
Yeah, the Russians usually just fake a hamstring injury and they don't get tested. That's usually what they do.
I can't pee my hamstrings.
Speaking of world records, maybe the first, maybe not the first, but for sure the first in a very long time, America's got a weightlifting world record.
Oh, yeah? Which who ended up pulling that off?
C.J. Cummings.
Oh, yeah, the young
junior world record in weightlifting.
Right.
Unheard of.
Yeah, that kid's unbelievable. He's 16 or something?
Yeah. I don't know what he weighs, but he weighs like $160, and I think he clean and jerked like 396.
Looks pretty wiry. Like he's young, so he doesn't have.
Yeah. He has some muscle, but he's kind of long.
Yeah.
And I think he snatched like 300 something, 315 maybe.
Yeah, he's kind of long and wiry, but he moves really well, and he is very sturdy when he moves.
It's kind of a weird thing that like powerlifting, you could easily say America's the best.
Right.
If not, whatever, top two, whatever arguments you want to make.
It seems like in Russia they have a few real heavy hitters, and then that's it. Then it seems like it really drops off.
And then like KK from wherever he's from, but weightlifting, well, I don't even know if we're top 10.
No,
we're terrible.
I'd say powerlifting, even in terms of like the IPF World Championships.
Yeah, I think we're tops.
We win a lot of the kind of the major weight classes.
Yeah, I think we won 105s. We won 83s.
Definitely won super heavy.
We won super heavy.
The big man took care of that.
Probably would have won 94s if Lane was healthy.
Ray Williams is an absolute mutant.
Yeah, he's nuts. What did he score? 966?
And when he unracked it, he went lightweight.
When he smashes it. He doesn't even squat. He easily had another 40
he
pounds.
Kind of like winds up and just kills it, right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful squat.
Is that the all-time sleeve record now, too? Because it was like 940?
Yeah, I think it's all-time just period.
So.
Yeah.
But then kind of going back to the whole drug tested thing, I mean, these guys are drug tested. We don't know who does what or whatever, but you give the guy the benefit of the doubt. He's drug tested. He's been in that federation for a long time.
Everything's so different, like whether you're drug tested all year or in the meet. Or
right.
Like I just read about CrossFit testing year-round.
Right.
Rather than just in season.
Yeah, they're starting to try to kick that up a notch too. And,
which I guess they can't, like if I randomly trained for a year and then went to the games, they couldn't really catch me. But if you're on the radar, I think you can be tested.
It makes sense. You have a lot of people that are, kind of living and dying by it, like literally, like people are like way into CrossFit, and there's some money on the line and stuff. And in powerlifting, it makes sense too to have at least one organization that is organized enough to where they can test people appropriately and try to come up with something that looks like drug-free powerlifting, right?
Yeah.
The hard part is the way that's all regulated and the way it's all done is just not easy to. It's not an easy thing to figure out.
No.
I mean, you see every sport, has had the problem for forever, and that's why I brought up Bigger, Stronger, Faster again, because the thing just keeps resurfacing, and I don't know when it will. The only way it would ever stop, I guess, is if you just made everything okay to take.
Yeah, just stop caring.
If you just didn't have any.
Okay, whatever you want to take.
That's a whole nother conversation too. Because then what if someone in Indonesia can't get the same substances as we can?
Well, that's the thing.
It already is like that, I'd imagine. But
that kind of stuff is really weird because access to stuff. We all kind of have access to stuff, but we don't have access to all the same stuff
or quality
when it comes to not necessarily drugs, but even like training methods or doctors or coaches. What if you go to the best chiropractor in the world and he just happens to know something that gets your central nervous system in tune for every workout?
Yeah.
Therefore, every workout you have is 2% better than the next guy. But you have to pay $575 every time you go to see the guy, but you have the funds for it. It's
easy for First Nations to talk about food and nutrition. Like we can plan what we eat, but like shit, man. Like some countries can't get access to food. Yeah, and they got to train their faces off and try to compete with us.
Right, and on the other hand, maybe that's an advantage.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like you're physically fed stuff. Like you have 3 times a day that you eat, and you're fed stuff, and you can't eat any junk. Here in the United States, we have access to so much excess and junk and alcohol and everything else, and you can really get yourself in a lot of trouble. Where in the other countries, the gripe with the Americans has always been like that we're not really treated that well here when it comes to being able to try to produce Olympians.
Well, they just kicked the weightlifting team out of the Olympic training center.
Well, I think that's a lot of stuff in America.
Too much chalk.
In America, too, is like a lot of our guys...
dropping the weights. All that fucking weight dropping. Yeah. Can't have any of that.
They're not really paid like pros or treated like pros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they're a lot of our niche sports.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like our basketball and football guys are treated like fucking gods. But some of these niche sports, throwing or weightlifting or whatever, aren't. In other countries, they might be.
How hard would it be, though, to think about? Like, you think about in college sports programs that you have your money makers and your money losers, and the money makers sort of pay for the money losers.
Yeah.
How hard would it be for the NFL and NBA and Major League Baseball to kick money in for the Olympics to promote sports beyond their own sports?
Yeah, some weightlifting or
athletics.
Yeah.
Perform
sprinting.
Yeah, how hard would that be?
It'd be cool to see some of those athletes get after it. Who knows what? In their off season, they did it in high school and college. I bet.
Right.
Like a lot of high schools make their football guys run track, or make their other people. Sac High here in Sacramento is known for it, and that's why we have so many like top level weightlifters coming out of here because all the football team at one point all had to do weightlifting in the off season. So then I think there's a handful of guys that are on the national level doing really well in weightlifting because of that.
The whole topic of who we pick and choose to be popular is a weird thing amongst the sporting world because a lot of times it just comes down to genetics, and it's something that you had really not a whole lot to do with.
Right.
When you look at, I was watching a thing on like the OJ trial, the thing that popped up on ESPN, and in watching that, I was like, I don't see OJ really have ever. I don't see him. And who knows what he did behind the scenes or whatever. I don't know, how much training he did or didn't do. But it appears that he literally did no training. It just appears that he just played football.
Yeah.
And he just happened to not kill is not the right word. Happened to destroy everybody in football and became one of the all-time greats, especially when it comes to the collegiate level. He was definitely one of the best running backs ever in the college world. But it's interesting to me that we put people like that up on a pedestal. I'm not going to say that he didn't have to work hard while he was doing it, but it seemed like a really natural-born talent to have. It doesn't seem like it's something that was really developed over time.
Right.
Whereas something like basketball, I realize there's a talent level, and there's like LeBron James is 6'8", and he's 250 or 260. He'd probably be similar size if he never lifted weights or whatever. He'd probably be similar, right? He's made himself more athletic because he's stronger and because he trains and stuff. But he can't just automatically be good at basketball just because he woke up one day and decided to shoot some hoops.
Right.
He's automatically further ahead than everybody else because of his genetic potential and because of being so tall and other things. But for him to just be able to shoot, you have to practice.
Right.
There's no other way around that. You agree with that?
Yeah, each sport has a different level of GPP, and each sport has a different level of SPP. Right. Something like football has maybe lower SPP, where like if you're
there's like none.
If you're unless you're a quarterback or whatever skill position, they literally call it a skill position.
Yeah, for a reason.
Especially like if you're just a brute and you're strong and you're fast and you can maybe like time a okay hike, you can fucking be really good like offensive lineman or something,
right.
or defensive lineman, like really fucking good.
Right.
In basketball, like you can't really hide. And soccer, you can't really hide in soccer.
Right.
Golf, you can't really hide. You kind of have to build those skills, and then maybe the GPP or whatever is elsewhere. You know, in golf, was it Chuck Daly, right? Like fat as fuck, alcoholic, smokes, very good golfer because like the GPP is not as important, right? But he has a skill, so he can continue on, and then it trickles down whether it's weightlifting or something else.
Yeah. It's weird though. We tend to get more excited by people that do less work rather than more work. Like, for example, like a superhero.
Yeah.
Get all excited about Superman. Superman's a fucking alien. You know?
Yeah.
He didn't have to he did nothing special to deserve those traits that he has. He just has them, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting that's kind of something similar that we do with a lot of people here. We just put them up on a pedestal. We haven't really even thought about why we put them there.
Yeah, well, Superman is considered the most boring superhero because like he can always win. Yeah. Like, I mean, how do you stop him?
I think he's handsome, personally.
Well, there's that.
And he's here with us today.
And our guest for the day. I tweeted one time, it was probably like a couple months ago, I might even mention this already, but I tweeted that, the old saying of hard work beats talent is just wrong, and you're fucking wrong.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's just no chance. Like, that's just how it goes. And then people started, like, tweeting me all this bullshit, like, what about Jerry Rice? I was like, because Jerry Rice has no genetic gifts along the way.
Whatsoever, yeah.
Sure, he made it to the and then I think me and you were talking about it, or maybe Marcus or someone, and they're like, well, yeah, it's true. Maybe it was Dan, I don't know. When he made it to the NFL, he couldn't catch anything. He had to really work on it. I was like, you just said when he made it to the NFL. That's already top 0.000%. Right. Like, that's already fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Right.
And that means he couldn't catch, and he made the NFL, meaning he's a genetic freak of freaks.
Yeah.
Kind of like LeBron. Like, yeah, he had to learn how to fucking shoot and stuff, but hypothetically speaking, if me and LeBron were born the same year, and I worked 3 times as hard all the way till age 18,
nothing would happen.
No, I do a little bit better on a college team, but he fucking goes pro and I don't.
Yeah,
if
well,
he had coaches that everybody agreed that are better than his coaches, nothing different would have happened either.
He had to have great eyesight. He had to have great fine motor skills and gross motor skills.
Yeah.
I mean,
be tall as shit, fast as shit, strong
He
as shit.
had to be willing to practice. I mean,
and the same thing, but is even less admitted by people is in powerlifting or weightlifting. People want to say you can outwork everything. Like, you can't, motherfucker.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's the exact same as every other sport.
I've known plenty of people who had all the drive in the world who could only accomplish so much. And I was one of those people. What do you do? You know?
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to figure out. And I think the genetic side of things make things really weird because anytime somebody does that much better than you, our only explanation for it is steroids.
Yeah.
Like, it literally, especially, I see it more now from the female perspective than I've ever seen it before.
That's because every chick in the world's pulling fucking 400 now.
Like, we had Colleen Foch here, and we did a Q&A with her, and her shoulders are popping out everywhere, and everyone wants to, who knows what people do and don't do. I don't follow people home, although I followed her home.
Only some people.
Binoculars, the whole deal. But we can't like vouch for what people do and don't do.
Right.
But just being around it for so long, I don't accuse anybody of anything until I see something really strange happen. If I see a profound change, I've never seen her change one way or the other, body weight wise. She's made some improvements on her body fat level because she has started to adhere to a diet.
And she was swimming, where those guys' body fat's always a little bit higher than a bodybuilder or something.
Yeah, she was swimming, and they probably weren't really teaching her as much about nutrition, maybe as they should have been. And with CrossFit, she knows with the CrossFit, with the body weight exercise and the gymnastics aspects to it, that she has to be lighter, period. Otherwise, she's gonna fail. But it's interesting how our only explanation all the time is my genetics must be fucking awesome. Because you just came in and you just kicked my ass. The only explanation for that is that you're taking steroids. There's just nothing else makes any sense to me.
That's pretty bad.
I think that's kind of weird.
I think they could have given some steroids to the spotters at IPF Worlds.
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't know why. It's interesting. When I watched a video, that the people that came up to help were a lot larger than the people that were already spotting.
And the audience, when you saw the audience, their faces we recognized out there. Like if someone's going to squat 9 something, why don't you get some big guys up there?
Yeah, I think experience behind it too. I know some federations and different people do kind of coach people to spot in this matter where you're kind of cupping it with your thumbs.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Kind of like taking a D.
Straight up bullshit.
I don't know
you're trying
why.
to catch a football.
Yeah.
That's why you catch a football.
Yeah, exactly. So, they try to spot like you're catching a football
you use
or something.
your arm.
Yeah, why would you when your thumbs are so small and they're the only things underneath the bar?
Also, too, let's make some fucking changes to this fucking prehistoric sport. Why not have the fucking platform be a little higher so you can get underneath the fucking bar a little bit better?
Well, and a little bit longer. It looks like the spotter's heels are coming off the platform.
Yeah, put the platform up fucking 5 or 6 inches, and where the spotters are actually standing, they'll be a little bit lower, and they can catch the weight a lot easier.
Yeah.
It'd be way safer. Then they would never end up in some of the predicaments they ended up with. One guy had a fucking seizure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I saw that one, yeah. I'm going to play this up.
It's like during the last part of the lift, it gets to be crazy.
I'm going to check this camera over here.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just have more experienced spotters involved, especially at a Worlds, a legitimate Worlds where...
And you know what? We get it. We understand they're trying to do their best. We understand they went through hundreds of... We're not saying...
Yeah. And part of it's on the world, I guess, because you need volunteers. Like,
right.
These guys aren't fucking getting paid grands to
right.
spot, but still.
Well, and this is supposed to be the federation, and this is supposed to be the platform for the best part of our sport, and in this situation, it's not. It's not up to par with where it should be, and they should be embarrassed by it.
I talked to some of the homies that went, Bart and Hanny a little bit, but Bart said that it does kind of feel like the Olympics when you're there. He said it felt very legitimate.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a huge crowd. They have a good participation.
I haven't seen any of this. I hate watching Biffs. I watched like
only one of these is really, really bad.
What's interesting here in the United States when they do it, I don't know what the difference is, but it looks so much better when they do it overseas. The banners and everything in the background are way better. It just looks, the appearance of the entire stage
maybe set up a little better. Yeah, I watched the 83 kilo battle, but that's it. That's all I watched. Oh, that's great.
That was John Hack and
our boy Brett Gibbs.
Yeah, that was a hell of a battle.
Yeah,
this sport is so difficult. You can train and work your ass off, and then somebody comes.
Dude, John Hack's a fucking freak.
Somebody comes out of nowhere and just starts to whoop up on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's this kid doing on the right? He looks like he's 10.
I know, and he's
no offense, little buddy.
Yeah, he's
so young.
It's not his fault,
So no. He fucking wants to be a part of it. He probably wanted to meet Brett Gibbs and John Hack. Like I don't blame him, but shit, man, he looks very young and skinny.
Well, and just be a little bit more clear on what the role is for the person. Anyone can actually load a plate.
Right.
That's not really.
And there's 2 on one side, 1 on the other. That's pretty bad.
Are these guys maybe high school powerlifters or something?
Maybe
in Texas. There's a lot of that in Texas.
Oh no, this is pretty bad.
This one's pretty bad.
Is this what you're talking about?
No,
it gets worse.
It gets worse.
Oh no.
But you see all those guys that ran up were a little bit heftier, a little bit bigger. Even the announcer's much bigger. But it's pretty cool seeing some of these big lifts that went down at this meet. So
83 kilo class, I think there was like almost 80% of them squatted over 500.
I find it interesting how many 700-pound deadlifts you see
Insane.
at IPF Worlds, and that's kind of always been that way. I don't know why.
The CrossFitter that we had in the gym the other day who deadlifts 700 pounds.
Yeah, lacrosse guy. He's all jacked.
Yeah, lacrosse? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
lacrosse.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said he was a CrossFitter.
Yeah, it's
lacrosse fitter.
It's not an easy thing to solve all the time with having proper spotting, but you do have to teach the guys exactly how to spot. They should be hooking their arms. I don't know why.
Everybody teaches this.
I don't know. I don't know why the hands. Your hands aren't going to do shit.
And just being part of a power lifter. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Being a power lifter, you kind of know too. Just like all right, first attempts, I'm going to pay attention, no doubt. But these guys are pros; they're going to smash it. Mm-hmm. Okay, second attempts, you know the weight on the bar, you know how many fucking reds are on there. Okay, this is heavy. If he eats shit, if his ACL rips, I'm going to need to fucking carry this whole thing. Be more prepared. Okay, it's third attempts at a world championship. These guys are going balls to the wall. I need to be very prepared.
Okay, these guys are bigger, except
915. This is a big dude.
Yeah. Owie.
So he's stuck, and then he can't get out from underneath the weight, and it looks like he kind of passed out. See how he kind of just shakes and throws himself out of there, and it looks like he ends up some sort of convulsion of some sort.
Yeah, that was scary.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I never saw that.
He looks like he couldn't help them at all, which is a problem. But they were uneven on the bar too.
That's what you got to worry about, right? I mean, like ACL can give out, fucking Achilles can give out. You don't know it's about to literally just give out, and they could fall. Oh, there's Bryce Lewis. Hey, Bryce.
The other thing that should be kind of pointed out too is, we're not saying that when you have a catastrophic like blowout that
shit happens.
You're going to be able to catch all of them, but the spotter should be so into what they're doing that they should say, you know what, I'm putting my body on the line before this lifter gets hurt.
Yeah,
because there's 3 or 4 of them rather than just one guy trying to lift the weight.
There's a lot of dangerous sports and people die, literally, like car racing or whatever, but they try as much as they can, right? They have fucking fire extinguishers nearby or what. You try as much as you can, but you just don't know. That looks painful. Hopefully that dude's all right.
They never did let the weight hit the ground on that particular one, but they just couldn't support the guy enough to get him out of there, get him out from underneath that spot. But I don't know why they don't teach people to hook the weight. We've been doing that here at Super Training forever. We hook the end of the bar. There's plenty of room on the bar.
Like give it like a one-arm hug.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and so if it goes downward at all, it literally just kind of falls onto you, and you softly catch it. The only issue that sometimes will happen is one side will tip versus the other. But one thing that should be pointed out to the lifters themselves, people should just be saying this in the warm-up room of every meet. If you don't lift the weight properly, you might get the weight taken away from you.
Yeah.
And you don't get another lift because you didn't lift the weight.
You made everybody dangerous.
You didn't lift the weight smoothly enough. That's why they grabbed it. Shit happens. Spotters are going to hit things accidentally, and that sucks to have them taken away. But it should just, in my opinion, win some, lose some. Just take the weight away from the guy if he's going to be all fucked up. I had that happen to me before in a meet where they took the weight a little bit early, and the response was, hey, lift it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't want me to intervene, then fucking lift the weight better.
Right. I mean, they're supposed to, in some federations at least, they're supposed to have rules about if a spotter touches it too soon, then they're supposed to give you the lift again. That almost never works out for anybody, though.
It's rare. I mean, obviously, if the spotter really jumps the gun, then something should probably be done. You don't want to see anybody robbed of their opportunity to do a lift, but at the same time, if you're bobbling the weight and you're going side to side, things are going to get worse. They're not going to get better once you start shifting to one side or start
the same idea if you
shifting
have,
forward or backwards.
Experienced guys on the side that have competed themselves. Maybe there's a limit. Maybe you have to compete fucking 5 times before you be a side spotter or something. Because then they're aware of what looks like a grind or what looks like a fucking fall or what's a catastrophe or when to actually touch shit.
Yeah. Right. That's a good point, but just what you said about the size of the or one of you said about the size of the platform. The platform is just not big enough.
Yeah, especially if you got some Ray Williams type dudes on there. Yeah. Then you need 4 Ray Williams type spotters. You're dealing with 1,000 pounds. Those are some big motherfuckers taking up a 10 by 10 space or something.
Or make a change in the equipment.
Yeah, that'll be rough. But I agree.
I do know that taller lifters seem to be able to spot really well too. So it's not the easiest thing to find dudes that are 6'6", but if you can find some taller guys,
hey, who knows?
They're going to be able to wrap around the bar better.
You start to get some power lifters, the top level power lifters, to start loading and helping set up for strongman. Then you get fucking strongman guys to come fucking spot for power.
Maybe so. I don't know. It just is not a good show, and we've all seen bad spotting in every meet that we've ever been to. There's always some instance that you wish had gone a different way, but it's just not the best representation of the sport, especially if this is the organization that's trying to go to the Olympics.
How do they choose cities and shit that they go to?
I don't know.
Like Olympics?
They vote on it for a long time. They bid on it.
Like a tiny little city in Texas. Tiny. Not Dallas, not Austin.
I know, probably not anywhere near the airport or anything.
No, I think they had a tiny airport themselves.
Yeah, when they were talking to me about like sponsorship and the kind of early going, they said, "Oh, you can spend 10 days in Killeen, Texas." I was like,
I don't think so.
See you there, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
let's find out.
It's north of Dallas, I think. But I literally think it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's weird, kind of a weird location, but it was cool to see all those records broken. And again, just going back to Ray Williams, I mean, that guy is a house. He's just enormous. And I didn't see what he did on the other lifts, but I think they said he broke a total record.
I think squat in total, yeah.
Closer to Austin.
Same with Hack.
John Hack. What did he end up squatting? Was it?
I don't think he got a squat record, but he squatted like 629 or so.
Oh, Brett Gibbs might have got a squat record, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah. I know they were going back.
I think Hack might have just barely upped, Brett Gibbs.
What amazes me is that these guys can bench. That's what amazes me.
Both of them bench like 440.
That's amazing.
And they both pull like 7.
That's amazing. Especially John Hack. He seems
he's long.
He seems long and thin. He doesn't seem like he's a beast. Usually it's the stocky fat guys that could.
He lifts pretty good too. We talk about I don't know if it's on air or off air. Or my life gets meshed everywhere, but other sports. Like basketball, the best shooters of all time, the Ray Allens, the Reggie Millers, the Jordans, the Kobes, the whatever, they all have the best form of all time also. In powerlifting, it's not always the case. Some of the strongest guys can potentially have the shittiest form, but that's kind of what I like about the IPF a little bit is often, not always, often, some of these top guys lift like perfectly. Like John Hack and Brett Gibbs have great form in all 3 lifts.
At some point, aspects of what you're doing have to match up with other aspects of what you're doing. Your form is going to have to match up with your strength, and your strength is going to have to match up with your form at some point. The two are going to have to kind of come together if you want to be on the platform of being, at IPF Worlds, basically. And then the fact that these guys are doing it drug tested and stuff just makes things harder. They can't just rely on outside substances. They can't
build as much muscle.
Necessarily rely on just gaining weight either.
Yeah.
Gaining weight, just kind of off topic, gaining weight and taking steroids would have a similar effect. I'm not talking about similar effect in terms of actually how much weight you would lift. That's debatable. I don't know which way would
Jen Thompson do.
But a combination of the two would probably be the best. But anyway, a lot of these guys that compete in IPF Worlds and stuff, they don't have the ability to go up in a weight class because they're trying to stay competitive in the particular weight class that they're in.
And if you go up, they're just as good or better.
Yeah, and they don't have the 24-hour weigh-in. I think they weigh in like 4 hours or something, right?
Yeah, 2
hours. Yeah.
So they have a lot more just restrictions on them in general.
Yeah.
Somebody like Bryce Lewis or something could gain 20 extra pounds, 30 extra pounds on his squat if he just decided to go up another weight class, which he recently did go up a weight class, and that worked well for him. But at some point, you got to settle down in a certain weight class and kind of just stay there.
Just wondering if the results are here. That's what I'm trying to find.
Yeah, maybe they're in.
Yeah, what did Jennifer Thompson bench? 312?
Yeah, so stupid. So strong.
That's unbelievable. I mean, she's one of the more amazing people in powerlifting.
Yeah.
Consistently bench pressing over 300 pounds. I think she's like in her 40s, I think.
Yeah, at least late 30s.
Early 40s, I think.
Weighs
hopefully
100.
I'm not saying that wrong. She don't want to kick my ass, but
she weighs 140 or so.
Yeah, it's
bench 312 is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think she's competed in a few different weight classes and stuff too. But 300. I mean, just a chick benching 3 plates is pretty goddamn wild. She's got that really wide.
It's like a bodybuilder.
That really wide grip. You have no choice when you're out that wide. You can't really tuck the elbows in as much, and can't really have the same form. You tuck your elbows in more.
Yeah.
Then your elbow is too far away from where your wrist is, and you end up in some weird compromised gay pterodactyl position. It doesn't work well for bench pressing.
Gay pterodactyl. I have a question that came in before we asked for questions today, and it's something that we certainly all experienced together before we moved into this particular spot. A friend of mine has a gym that's kind of running out of his garage right now, and he was approached by a local CrossFit type gym, not really a CrossFit, about moving into their space and moving his club into their space. And he said, what things should I be thinking about and talking to them about? And I know that a lot of people that listen to the show have aspirations for having their own gym at some point. And this is back when super training was actually not free. So what I was thinking about was things like what do your members have access to relative to the other gym and vice versa? I was thinking like who's responsible if things get broken, getting your own liability insurance, access time, when can you be there and when you cannot be there?
Yeah, when are you normally there versus when you're not there and people could use the equipment more freely.
Yeah. Can you think of anything?
Yeah, I think the main thing is whenever I guess you got to understand that when you do something like this, that you are like physically getting into business with somebody else. You may not really realize it because maybe there's not like a money exchange of that sort. But it is you are getting into business with each other, and you have to make sure that you get out of it whatever it is that you want out of it. If they sought you out, then you have the upper hand in terms of what you can negotiate a little bit. If it's the other way around, then they kind of have the upper hand a little bit. But you got to make sure that you get out of it what you want, and you have to make sure that you explain the way that your people act and the way that they are. If your gym's anything like Super Training and you have a locker room mentality where people are going to be talking about porn and pussy and drugs and whatever else, then you have to make sure that person's comfortable. If they're not comfortable, then the arrangement won't ever even get off the ground.
Yeah.
In terms of explicit music and things like that, I mean, you have to kind of go over each thing and make sure they're okay with fat, sweaty powerlifters that listen to gangster rap.
Right.
So those are some really key elements. And then also, again, if you're going into their facility and you're trying to show them what they'll gain from it for whatever reason, then you can kind of you can sell them on powerlifting a little bit. You can sell them on, hey, I'll instruct some of your people, maybe some of your trainers, or maybe take it a step further and say I'll do some personal training with some of the people. And then also the type of equipment that you bring in there is probably going to be the most valuable thing, because a CrossFit probably doesn't have some access to some of those special, fun powerlifting things that we have.
Yeah, bars and benches.
Yeah,
and,
all that kind of stuff.
I don't know that they have a monolift, but same kind of thing. I think you also need to look at like what is the end going to look like.
Yeah,
like
exit.
Yeah, what's the exit
or
strategy?
expand or who knows what.
Yeah. Like, I mean, are you comfortable with continuing with that kind of relationship with someone for a long time? Or if they have to get out, what do you do? And, just so that it doesn't all hit you at the point that you get that gut feeling that change has got to come.
Yep. We're going to get to more questions in a second, but first, a quick word from our sponsor, bodybuilding.com. Bodybuilding.com is the world's #1 fitness website and supplement store. Lowest prices, great customer service, and a largest selection of all fitness supplies and supplements, making BB.com a must for your fitness needs. Their easy-to-use top 5 supplement guide provides easy access and information for all pre, intra, post, and nutritional supplements. Not only does bodybuilding.com have the best prices and deals for your fitness supplements, they have free, that's FREE, training and nutritional guides by top-level athletes and trainers. Training programs that include picture demonstrations of the lifts for the novice lifters, as well as training programs for more advanced lifters looking to take it to the next level.
I need some supplements.
Yeah, you do. Go follow at bodybuilding.com on Instagram for specials and website information, as well as giveaways. And don't forget to head over to bodybuilding.com for all your supplement and fitness needs.
Will they send me anything?
They're going to give you a lifetime supply because you're so skinny.
I need something. I think Mike is going the distance. He's going for speed. He's going to poop. He read his bodybuilding.com thing, and
and then he just split. It's just you and me.
He just took off. So anyway,
it's like the old days.
Hey now.
Well, while he's gone, let's talk about this Kanye thing.
What's going on with Kanye West?
Have you seen this picture?
No, but Kanye West is just weird to me.
He is very fucking weird.
There's a lot of weird shit going on with Kanye West all the time. He's, it's one of those people who people just always point out, oh, he's misunderstood.
No, he's just fucking weird. These are supposed to be wax figures of all these famous people. Mm-hmm. That is supposed to be George W. Bush, but his people say no, he's more jacked than that. That's supposed to be Donald Trump. I believe that. Mm-hmm. He had a big old ass.
He probably looks a little fatter than that.
He probably does, yeah. But this is him, and then all the other ones are wax figures.
Weird. Do you think he fucks the wax figure of Kim Kardashian's ass?
Probably so.
Waxing that ass. These are wax figures, Mike, except for Kanye in the middle.
Kanye's real?
Yeah.
I heard about this.
Yeah.
But the version I saw was edited.
This
blurred
is
out.
just the picture.
I got to tell you,
there's no nudies.
I'd keep the Kardashian one for myself.
How do they know what everyone's tits and parts look like?
That's a really good question.
They just
I don't
assume?
know. I think they just assumed that.
That's a pretty big bed.
That's a huge, big ass, but they have to just be on the floor, right?
Potentially. A
lot of pillows.
So those are wax things all chucked next to each other.
Except for him.
With Kanye just creeping in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Who's to his left? Taylor Swift?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably.
I think that was the big deal. That's why I read about it. Because they had beef, right? So I think the big deal was that him and Taylor Swift were naked next to each other. that was his funny like game.
Yep,
Yeah, Taylor Swift. Yeah, that's so funny. She probably hates him even more.
There's Bill Cosby out at the end there. Caitlyn
That's
Jenner.
weird too. What?
How much did he get paid for that photo?
Was that? I
it's part of this video.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it's part of his album or something.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just a psycho in the head.
I just haven't been able to find the actual video. I'm sure it's somewhere.
I love it. I absolutely think it's hilarious. Kanye.
Yeah, he's just so strained all the time. I can't follow what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I can't keep up with any of it. Our boy Future just came out with a jacket with Reebok. Did you see that?
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
That's
it's sick.
Cool. Is it like old school, like ridiculousness?
It's super plain. It's like black. It has a cool Reebok logo. I think it has a Future logo on the sleeve. And it's just kind of like a windbreaker. It's cool, though. Yeah, it's dope. There's not been a lot of companies that like tap into like music and stuff like Reebok's trying.
Yeah, Reebok always does.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Like guys wear Jordans, but that was more organic.
Right.
Like Reebok and these guys are collaborating. It's cool. They come in with a Kendrick Lamar shoe. I think that drops July 1st.
Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah. He gets his own goddamn shoe.
It's great.
Before we get into the questions, you guys watch Game of Thrones?
I don't. I did, and then I stopped.
You stopped watching Game of Thrones?
I don't have HBO anymore. I know. So I'm like at season 4.
I'm so
Nowadays,
sorry.
do you even need HBO? Can't you?
No,
I think you need. Yeah. I like to be legal. I don't want a whole Napster.
You don't.
FBI breaking down my door because I downloaded too much free shit.
You can get
HBO Go.
HBO Go. Yeah.
What's that cost? Probably something stupid.
I don't know.
Even Spotify's like $12 a fucking month. Like, come on, I'll just go to
HBO
YouTube.
Go is under $10 a month.
Maybe we'll get an HBO or Spotify sponsorship for anyone that works for Spotify.
Yeah, please help. HBO stuff you can't watch like through like on demand or something.
You can
If you have HBO though.
If you have HBO.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like I've got got Comcast and I can watch any of that shit anywhere now.
Yeah. So sad.
I can
All
watch
the
live stuff too.
all the questions are great because we've already talked about them all. I asked for like topics, and so like it says like training styles for drug and non-drug athletes. We already talked about that a little bit. We're like maybe we didn't talk about the training styles, but like often when you're using some type of performance enhancing, you can just put on more muscle, and that'll help in the long run.
What's the question?
Training styles for drug to non-drug athletes. You know, we already kind of talked about it, which is funny. They talked about John Hack. We already talked about that.
Well, just to kind of give you guys a little peek into my training, I haven't changed anything with my training lately other than just gaining weight. Everything else you guys already know. You've seen Bigger, Stronger, Faster. You already know the deal with that. And I haven't changed anything with my training. All I did was gain weight, and I'm hitting PRs.
Yeah,
so
more muscles.
More weight is always going to move more weight. So if you have a chance to gain some weight, I think a lot of times natural athletes seem to be really worried about body composition, and rightfully so. I mean, it sucks to be fat, but if you can gain a little bit of body fat certain times a year, you're going to want to try to do that, whether you have an off season or however you want to say it, or however you want to plan it. You should be fluctuating your body weight a little bit. In my opinion, it's like it's the only trick that you have as a drug free athlete. The only trick that you have is to manipulate your body weight a little bit.
I was listening to Alberto Nunez.
Oh, Alberto Nunez.
3DMJ started their own podcast.
Shredded.
And he's always been very interesting to me because there's just so many twists and turns of things that he's been through in his life.
You like his hair.
I like his hair. Yeah.
His pecs.
And his 5 head.
Yeah, the forehead thing is weird.
But at one point he was trying to gain a lot of weight. He may have told us this on the first time that we had him on, but that's been so long ago I don't remember. But he got up to like 250.
Yeah, that's awesome. He posts pictures all the time. He was so fat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he never did it again, and it was painful, I guess. But like maybe. Like, what did that contribute? That one time that he got up way over his competition
I think
weight?
very least it contributed to his knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
You know, like if you take everything as practice and not necessarily like, I gained 1 pound of muscle or whatever.
Well, what does he weigh nowadays? 165 probably?
I think on stage, yeah. So then he probably walks around 180 or so, I bet.
So he could probably make a conscious decision now and say, you know what, that 250 was too fat. Maybe I can get up to like 220, 225.
I think he tries to stick around 200 for his off season. Right. So if you like plan things right, and you the whole point of like tracking your food, which is like getting popular, which I agree with, is that if you have yourself on a slight deficit or a slight surplus, you can hopefully elongate this whole bulk or a cut or whatever the fuck you're doing and put the things in the right places. Right? If you gain 40 pounds in 3 months, or you gain 10 pounds in 3 months, chances are those 10 pounds are going to be better placed towards what your goal is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things that can happen when you have a surplus of calories. Obviously, if you have an excess surplus of calories, you're going to literally gain body fat. But if you have a little bit of a caloric surplus and you're actually eating food and you're not just like eating, stuff in wrappers and stuff like that, if you're eating meat and stuff, you're going to get more vitamins and more minerals, and you're going to get more nutrients to your body. More steroids, you're going to get more nutrients to your body, which is going to help you grow.
Right.
So I think, like, a lot of times people just associate the food. People associate the food with energy, and people associate the food with weight gain or weight loss if you take some of the food away. But there's a little bit more that goes into it than just that. It's obviously more long term, but if you listen to like Efforting and some other guys talking about eating cholesterol, eating animal fats, things of that nature, that's going to increase your testosterone levels, and that's going to help you gain more muscle over a period of time. You may not actually gain hardly any weight. You may not actually gain hardly any strength, but over a long period of time, if you just keep doing that and stick with it for a long time, it's going to have some great positive results for you.
I think it's a little difference between training natural and not training natural. Right. Like we can add more food, get a little fatter. You guys could probably add a little bit more drugs and get a little more muscle. And everything we do is a little bit. Maybe my cut and bulk cycles like 6 months each, where like perhaps somebody who uses performance enhancing drugs could do like 12 weeks on and off because they have something boosting the results of both processes.
Well, and also something I heard from a world record holder recently was that in preparing for a contest, even when they compete at a lighter body weight, when they prep for a contest for powerlifting meet, they gain weight the entire training cycle. Yeah. So
we say that about old school bodybuilders too. Yeah.
Yeah. So they literally go from it. Hopefully they have more than 12 weeks. If they have more like 16 weeks, it'd probably be more appropriate. But they're going to gain in the first month. They're going to gain 10 pounds. In the second month, they'll probably gain like 6 pounds.
Some muscle, some water, some bloat.
And by the third month, they'll probably start to manipulate their diet a little bit so they can start to get back on target with whatever weight class they're going to be in. But that's a really interesting thing, is that they are doing everything they can in their training to make sure that their training is optimal. And whether you take drugs or don't take drugs, that should always be the goal.
You think that they're front-loading volume?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. They're when they get in those accumulation phases and they get in those really, really tough, those really, really hard spots of training, they're eating so much and working on recovery so much that they're staying ahead of their training the entire time.
Yeah,
rather than falling behind.
Right, that makes sense.
Thoughts on pro hormones?
I've never really messed with them all that much, except for when they were newer, back in the day when they had like androstenedione and stuff like that, the stuff that Maguire was accused of. I've never noticed anything that profound with them, although I've heard that the trend shit, pro hormone, was pretty good, but I don't think they have it anymore. So.
Yeah, I think most of it's probably at least trying to get banned.
Right.
We've answered this question before, I remember, because I've given the answer before, and people have quoted me on the answer before, that back when I gained like 13 pounds in 10 weeks doing German volume training and taking pro hormones.
Right.
And I never lost that weight. So
right, always kept it.
Figure it out.
Jim's getting his pro hormone sponsorship on. Favorite flavor of Sour Patch Kid?
Oh, you like color, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah. Isn't that great that like it's like a kid thing, but when you talk about candies and stuff, you talk about your favorite color, not your favorite flavor, because we don't even know what the fuck flavor it is. Like my favorite flavor is green.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. They do make different kinds now, though, right?
Yeah. They've gotten really creative.
Yeah.
There's like Sour Patch eggs and strips. And
but there's different flavors, too.
Yeah, there's tropical and fucking whatever.
I got no idea.
I grab a handful. I guess maybe that's a fat kid in me, too. Yeah. I can't really taste it. It's more like Jamba Juice smoothie in my mouth.
I tend to naturally gravitate towards orange stuff. I like yellow, and I like orange.
Mosquito.
But green, not so much.
Even candies? No green candies?
Yeah, not really.
What's green? Normally watermelon or
lime.
Apple? Oh, or lime.
Oh, apple's a bad choice. Sour apple?
The best is that orange, the fruit and orange like candy tastes nothing alike. Absolutely not even close.
I know, not even remotely close. I love, back in the day, I used to get a whole entire bag of like, what are they called? Twizzlers?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if they have Twizzlers out here. Do they have Twizzlers?
Yeah, they got Twizzlers.
Okay.
Twizzlers are good.
I used to get a pound of Twizzlers and just eat that.
That's a lot.
I'd watch a movie and eat a pound of Twizzlers.
That's like a
didn't even think about
Sour Patch straws, kind of, right? Same idea.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know, how about an arm day with Mark and Mike? We might be able to make that happen.
Some buys and some triceps. They want to know some secrets. If you're serious about wanting to know about making the arms a little bit bigger, a lot of times a great solve for just trying to get bigger guns is just to try to train them heavy. Especially if you have never done that before, try to actually work up to a heavy set of 5 on 3 different exercises for the day, and finish off each part of that workout with a little bit of bodybuilding stuff. I think that would work really well. Just go as heavy as you can with a barbell, like we did the other day. We just tried to go as heavy as we could with a barbell. If you have to cheat, don't worry about it, because we're fat powerlifters and we're trying just to lift more weight.
We could probably do a video for you guys and get up on the YouTubes. But just what Mark said is it's people say, like, how do you train your back? How do you train your hamstrings? Like, all muscles are we're talking vaguely, more or less the same. So you have to focus on, like, progressive overload, like getting more weight, more reps, more volume, more something. This is directed to me, but you guys can obviously chime in. Why do you choose not to take steroids? I have my reasons, but it's out of fear of the law, religion. Your mom told you no? I don't know if my mom even knows what steroids are, but I'm just kidding. My mom knows what steroids are. I decided to not take steroids in the beginning because I started working out for sports, and I needed, like, muscle endurance and regular endurance for basketball. Plus, I was just naive to the fact of anyone on steroids. And then as I progressed and got more into this world of niche strength sports and learned more about steroids, basically, in my head, I'm going to pull 700 pounds within the next 2 years, regardless. And maybe if I take stuff, say I pull 750 or 800 or hypothetically whatever, 900, doesn't even matter. Hypothetically, would I feel more accomplished, or would that get me further towards my goals? And my personal answer is no. So then my answer to that is no.
I think that's the bottom line of everything that you have to ask is, does this further my goals?
Yeah. Or make you feel better.
Yeah.
One of my main reasons for ever getting involved in the first place is they just surrounded me as a kid. My uncle took them. My brothers took them. It was just it's just like...
they're in the water in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, they're literally... The first gym I went to,
bunch of Guidos.
It was just like... I was never scared of them. I guess that's kind of a big thing. Is a lot of times I think people are initially turned off by them because they have this stigma, and it is a needle and stuff like that. So people are like,
yeah.
And,
I don't like needles much either.
I never had that block, so that was never anything that bothered me. So,
and wrestling, I'd imagine they're everywhere.
I would just say just stick to your guns, though. I mean, I've talked people out of it many times. I think people were surprised by that a little bit, but just stick to your guns. Whatever you believe in, try to believe it as hard as you can, and try to stick to what you say.
I think that probably over the time that we've been doing this thing, I think we probably talk more people out of it than into it.
Hey now.
Why is the fitness industry so fucking gimmicky? Every day there's a cute new fad, like eating Sour Patch Kids before a workout. I know you're kind of joking, but kind of not. But, like, people have been doing that forever. Like, you hear about Jay Cutler or whatever slamming Coca-Cola before or after a workout. It's just simple sugars. 1, it's fun. 2, they obviously taste good. And 3, if it gives you a slight benefit in whatever nature, mental or physical, why not do it? But I agree the fitness industry is very gimmicky, and I also agree that the three of us here to be anti-gimmicky.
When I think it comes to lifting and even just human nature, I think we all kind of feel the need to relax every once in a while, and we associate that relaxation with a drink, or a lot of times in movies you see alcohol, you see smoking,
sex.
We do it. Yeah, sex. You see, we do it a lot in here with food. Like our way to kind of like quote unquote let our hair down is to like go engorge on some pizza, right? And so I think that's what a lot of the people, and I think the messages that we put out sometimes are misinterpreted, because we're not going to post all the time every day pictures of us just eating chicken breasts, although we'll post that once in a while to try to motivate you and try to show you guys that we're not so fat all the time. But more than likely you're going to see a peanut butter cup, or you're going to see the Sour Patch Kids that we posted. You're gonna
those things are more
oftentimes-
fun.
Yeah, those things are more fun. They get more excited. Kids get excited about the ice cream truck coming by, not the chicken breast truck driving down the street.
Not the worst idea.
Not the worst idea, but
And so we're just trying to like share kind of our happiness and stuff like that with people. However, even for myself right now, still trying to gain some more weight for this meet, I'm not eating disgusting amounts of food every single day. It's like probably every other day I'll have like McDonald's, or every other day I'll have ice cream. It's just I don't need to care about it or worry about it as much. So if I feel like having something, I can. But I still eating chicken and steak and rice and all that bullshit.
you're still eating quality protein and fat and
Right.
all that stuff. Thing is too that some of the stuff that's done for Instagram, out of here is done ironically because it is popular.
Yeah.
You're not doing it just because it strikes a chord. You're doing it a little bit tongue in cheek. Look at this thing. Look at these donuts. Look at this whatever.
Right.
It's not that people aren't eating them, but they're eating them because it's a thing.
And we went over the donut thing many times. That's not our fault. 100%. I don't know what happened.
How much do you guys sleep?
Not nearly enough. I haven't got that figured out yet.
I wish I could sleep better. I'm still working on trying to figure out my goddamn sleep apnea machine. It
Oh,
pumps
really?
so much fucking air into my face that it's really hard. I can only do it for like 20 minutes at a time.
Can you turn it down?
Jim and I will have to sleep together to work this out.
You can turn it down.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I do know that like I've gotten used to it a little bit, but the breathing out part feels weird. You can't ever breathe out of your mouth, and I'm so used to that I just need to keep using it.
Yeah, so some stuff will straighten itself out, and you might just need to have the pressure turned down a little bit. They tend to err on the side of a lot of pressure,
Right.
and that's harder for people to adapt to.
Right.
They kind of take the worst case scenario with it and just crank it into a fucking hurricane. But like a year ago, I put some money in a GoFundMe for a CPAP, like a disposable CPAP, just goes into your nose, and you use it like one night and then throw it away. Has a
cool.
battery that expires, just in like 8 hours or 10 hours,
Like
or
a hand
whatever.
warmer?
Yeah.
that's
Or
cool.
I think they actually took the battery out of old.
I was trying to think of like a helmet or something that goes like just over your head so you can sleep whatever way that you want.
Yeah, you can space helmet that would work.
Or like
I feel
chamber.
I feel like there's a superhero movie. Oh, actually, Star Wars has something where they put in their mouth and they can breathe underwater.
Right.
That's
yeah.
kind of fucking cool.
Yeah, it's
What about like Darth Vader? He's got that permanent harmonica up to his face the whole time.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. So
Anyway,
yeah,
I don't sleep as much as I'd like to.
Take
I've
naps?
Sort of always been that way. Yeah, I try to take a nap about every other day if I can, just to try to get one in. It helps me. Helps me with my lifting. On a lifting day, I try to get a nap in.
I don't know, 5 or 6 hours is usually about all I can do. I wish it was more. If I'm in a dark place, like when we bought our house like 15 16 years
in a
ago.
hotel room and it's freezing and it's pitch black.
Yeah, you can sleep like a motherfucker. Yeah.
Everyone makes fun of my eye mask. I travel with the eye
yeah,
mask.
I
wear it everywhere. I have a fancy like Tempur-Pedic one. Everyone rags on it, but it's so fucking. It's a key. It's fucking gold.
That made a difference for me, but like our bedroom has so many fucking windows and skylights and shit.
Yeah.
It's like sleeping outside, and
That's
it's
why
a
you gotta
problem.
Go. That's why you got to go eye mask.
I just noticed that they're starting to sell, mostly for kids, a little like pop-up tent thing that goes on your bed that
That's cool.
makes your bed dark.
I tried it all. I have like thick ass curtains, like whatever cold dark room ones.
Yeah.
They don't work enough. Like any kind of light fucks me up. I need to sleep a lot. Like people get like hungry or whatever the fuck people say.
Angry.
Yeah, I don't get hangry. I get fucking sleep and grumpy. So I try to sleep at least 7, minimal 7. But I'll go to bed early. Like I get shit done, go home, chill for like 2 hours. I need to unwind. My anxiety and life runs through my head, so I need to like sit around for 2 hours, and then I'll fall asleep before 11.
You do have some trouble sleeping. You start trying to get yourself on a schedule. I mean, that's what you do with a baby,
Right.
and it actually works really well with kids, and it'll work on you as well if you wake up early, try to commit to something. Maybe you wake up at 6 o'clock every day just to start hitting up some of your emails or whatever the hell it is that you need to do in your day. If you commit to waking up early, you'll start to get on a little bit earlier schedule. You get to bed a little bit earlier. You don't have to wake up at 6, but you can pick a time that you wake up. and try to wake up at that same time each day and try to work on that. You could also going for a walk sometimes helps. I used to go for a walk at night, like with my kids.
I think exercise in general helps if a lot of people aren't exercising enough.
Yeah, I just go for a walk with my kids sometimes. Right now it's so fucking hot, but even at night it's hot. But going really for a walk. Sometimes I'll come back and I'll just take a shower and go to sleep and feel awesome.
Thoughts on a suit being allowed at the World Deadlift Championship? This person says, not me, but this person says Brian Shaw isn't too pleased about it. I don't know if Brian made a video about it or something or tweeted about it, but I think that's kind of always been, the one that Eddie Hall won last year, and like everyone always says that.
Yeah, Strongman allows you to wear whatever you'd like.
This is just a deadlift off expo,
right?
Yeah,
and they'll allow you to wear whatever you want. They try and, I mean, even in strongman in general, for most all the movements, a lot of times you're allowed to wear a squat suit. Even if you're doing a squatting movement, a lot of times you're allowed to wear different things. So I think in this case, I think it would make more sense to have it be uniform amongst previous records, because Eddie Hall does have the all-time record, and that's without a suit. So you might as well kind of continue on that trend, but I guess they're just trying to look for big numbers, So, and then also when you throw in a suit, you also open a door to more sponsorship. So maybe they're looking into trying to get some more equipment manufacturers in there, which isn't a bad idea. Try to get more money to the sport. Deadlift suits.
They can use straps too. The point is that it's not powerlifting.
Yeah,
it's not powerlifting.
Deadlift suits, and they don't lift with the same form and stuff. Deadlift suits. They're not going to automatically benefit you, but they do help you more than people kind of realize. I would say that if they're going to allow a suit, that they should just allow you to lift it whatever way you want then, and you should also be allowed to pull sumo. You know what I mean? Like, you might as well just, if you're going to kind of open up the doors to just lift it whatever way you want, then just allow them.
They can't pull sumo?
I don't believe so. I don't
think at the World Championship.
I think strongman. Not that would benefit anybody, but I mean, Jerry Pritchard is out so wide, and Brian, Brian's out so wide, it's damn near a sumo. It's just his hands are just outside of where his legs are. So I don't really know what the difference is, but I guess my point is, if you're going to just say, hey, do whatever you want, then you should be able to do whatever you want.
That's it. The rest of the questions sucked.
I have a couple that came in on the on the PowerCast IG. This is a question sort of we hear all the time. How big can I get as a teen? We can't answer that question. However,
it goes back to all the genetics we talked about.
However, there's a guy in the gym right now. I guess he's maybe only in on Sundays. I don't know. I'd never really met him before, just seen him around. He was talking to me the other day, and he said, "Yeah, I never lifted a weight until like a year ago." And he's not huge, but he's pretty jacked, and he has big arms and whatever. Yeah. And it's like he just, the potential's just sitting there.
Yeah. Sema was jacked when he was young. He played soccer.
Yeah, actually, he was a friend of Sema's.
Oh, all right. I didn't know Sema had friends. Good job, buddy.
And Sema apparently was a skinny guy in...
Skinny-ish.
Skinny-ish.
Yeah, he was still jacked. Yeah. He was lighter.
He's always been jacked.
Yeah, he was jacked.
How do you influence, inspire... or help loved ones start lifting and being accountable for their health?
I think it's impossible.
Yeah, I think it's impossible too.
I think the only option with all that is just always lead by example.
Yeah.
If other people see, they're more likely to do, but you can't really convince anybody to do anything.
If the person's young enough and not too far gone, sometimes when it comes to these kind of things, it's hard because someone's so set in their ways, and it's hard to get the right momentum going. But if they have a friend or another family member that can participate and do some stuff along with them, that could really help a lot. As long as they're like an able-bodied person. If they're not really, if they're so physically out of shape that they can't do a whole lot, that might be hard. But if it's a mom or something, maybe they have a girlfriend that they could do something with. They could go for a bike ride, or they could do A, B, or C. Everyone should be participating in some form of exercise. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why you don't see it more often, but I think it's just people get stuck in these certain habits, and it's something I always try to preach to my kids. I don't really care if my kids power lift. I don't care if they play football or what. None of that stuff really makes any difference to me one way or the other what they want to do. But I preach to them all the time that health and fitness should be some part of their life. It doesn't have to consume them. They don't have to be involved in the fitness industry or anything like that. But just being mindful. Try to find something every day that you're going to do that's going to be that you can account for as some form of exercise, whether it's hopping on a bike or going for a walk or playing catch, or hey, it could be anything.
Yeah, just keep it on the radar all the time, as opposed to just sitting in front of the TV and, gaining weight, which is pretty much what people do in front of TVs.
It's hard to ever make anybody passionate about the stuff that you're passionate about. So
that's for sure.
They more than likely won't become as passionate as you. Is something to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Know that they're not you.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, they may find something slightly different. So that's something to think about. This guy says, if I go and if I sit down to poop and only end up peeing, does that make me a girl?
Were we talking to you about your age and butthole issues?
Last episode we talked about.
Yeah, if you I think you're at that. Oh yeah, Big J said he's at that spot where
threshold
that he just sits to pee just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, I think it does make you.
It
makes you weary.
Yeah. Let's see. Every time I pee, I fart, but the reverse isn't true. Luckily for me.
Not to bring this off topic, but we talked a lot about powerlifting and serious things. So, I don't think either of you know this story, but I'm not going to name any names. You two can assume.
Okay.
Somebody I know, maybe an acquaintance, maybe a friend, maybe a pal, maybe a buddy, talked about when masturbating in a bathroom situation, that they actually multiple friends have told me this, that they sit down to do it.
They're giving themselves like a blumpkin.
I don't get the logic, as everything else we do with that male genitalia, typically we're standing in the bathroom situation.
Yeah.
This is taking into account that you, I guess, can't use the shower or anything else. So I guess that's kind of like sitting and peeing, masturbating.
First of all, I've had friends tell me that they have randomly gone to the bathroom and jerked off before.
How's that random? Since age 15, it can't be random anymore.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I've never done that. I'm a horny motherfucker, and I love whacking off and everything, but I've never, been like, man, like, it's never hit me like a shit. It's never been like, I better go take care of this right now.
There's a very fake video going on right now with a guy who supposedly put Viagra in his brother's I
like where this is going.
Yeah.
Drink or something?
Yeah, drink like a Gatorade or whatever.
That's a Mike on bench day every week.
Bench boners.
Mike, put these sweatpants on.
But, I mean, it's like ridiculously big, silly boner, and he can't stand up, and it's obviously...
Mike Rashid style.
Yeah, Mike Rashid style, exactly.
Shout out to my boy.
He was the stunt double, the body double in this video?
Yeah, apparently. Anyway, no, I don't know. If they're pooping at the same time and they're getting a little prostate stim, okay, I guess maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really get any of it. I think you should stand for both. That's just my opinion. I think we should. Yeah.
I like how they say it in Britain. Please be upstanding. They don't say stand up. They say please be upstanding.
Yeah. Be an upstanding masturbator.
Yeah.
This guy says he's got some shoulder pain. He has like bursitis in his shoulders.
You're done for. Stop lifting, buddy.
Yeah. He's just asking if there's anything you can do. Anytime that you're hurt, try to focus on 5 things that you can do and stop worrying about the shit that you can't do. Find things that will somehow work your shoulder. And we can count anything as working your shoulder. We can count seated rows as working your shoulders. At least it's the back of your shoulder. Try to find 5 things that will work your shoulder in a way that's not harmful. If you can do partial range of motion bench presses, if you can't really get into your chest because you have so much pain in the front of your shoulder or even the back, wherever the pain is, you have so much pain in your shoulder you can't really get into doing anything for your chest, start doing some flies, do some cable flies, do some pec decking. Almost everybody can handle. I don't know anybody that has so much pain in their shoulders that they can't do a cable crossover. So find some different movements that that are gonna allow you to still enjoy training. Try to find 5 things that you can do. Stop worrying about the stuff that you can't. On top of that, you're gonna have to do some research into what the fuck is the cause of this. Are you sitting weird every day? Do you have a manual labor job that's throwing you out of whack? Did you used to play baseball and you threw your shoulder out when you were 12 and you never took care of it? You got to kind of get to the root of the situation and try to figure out what's going on. Some general massage therapy can help a lot, but you'll need a lot of it. Any sort of ART or any of that kind of stuff can help also, but you're going to have to really commit to it. It's not something you're going to go to one time and just all of a sudden be healed. It's going to be something you're going to probably have to have an approach to go to for about 3 months. What they'll try to sell you on when they do ART, active release therapy, is that they can help get rid of the scar tissue in the area kind of on that particular day or within 3 days, and they kind of can. But once you have pain sitting there for a long time, your whole entire body gets out of whack, and you're going to need more than just your shoulder worked on. Probably your bicep, probably your trap, probably your lat. It's probably coming from probably your hips. It's probably coming from all these different spots that have gotten to be tight and gotten to be fucked up.
Yeah, and if you don't find the root, it'll just come right back, and you'll just keep spending your money on ART to fix if you sleep weird or you commute weird.
Yeah, that's really true. I've been through rehab processes, and I probably should be doing that with my shoulder right now. Basically, I've just sort of backed off in the hopes of it calming down, and it has quite a bit. I can do more than I could, a few weeks ago when it started acting up again. But I don't know. I'm 53 years old. Whatever.
Shit happens.
It's going to hurt a little bit. Getting into a more protected position every time I try to do something is a big deal. I think keeping your shoulders actually tucked in the way they're supposed to be, and
the way that you sleep can really wreak havoc.
I think that's what killed me this time, is sleeping.
This guy asked a question about which type of pull is better, conventional or sumo. Which will give you more power. Mike, you have some good commentary about what beginners should do when it comes to deadlifting.
I think it depends on your goal. So if you're talking powerlifting, eventually you're going to want to get to the stance that you can get in a better position and lift more weight in, right? That's the goal of powerlifting. If you're a general athlete, I recommend training both, but conventional often. If you hear about NFL guys, NBA guys, whatever, they're often tearing hamstrings. They're not tearing quads. Often that's because of imbalances. So if you start to train the conventional, which trains a little bit more glutes and hams, hopefully you can overcome some of that injury. It also gets those hips a little bit more explosive. But if you're a beginner powerlifter, pretty much train conventional. I think it's the easier form. It builds a little bit more muscle, in my opinion, in the spots that are hard to hit. But neither are better nor worse.
It does seem that it's a little bit more consistent to build up a conventional pull, especially when you're by yourself. If you don't have a coach, you don't have a team, somebody really watching you and kind of being mindful of where your knees are and where everything is on a sumo pull. At some point when you start the sumo pull, you probably just yank on the bar and just close your eyes and just hope that you finish the damn lift somehow. And that's not the way to do a sumo pull. It ends up being they're both technical, but a sumo pull ends up being a little bit harder, in my opinion, to gauge the progress of. And from 1 week to the next, just depending on how your hips and lower back feel, it can be really sketchy in terms of how you feel and how you lift for that particular day. So stick with the conventional for a while, build up just kind of that regular strength, but learn how to do sumo as well. Maybe do both in your warm-ups all the time, and then stick to the conventional as the weights get heavier.
And whatever you do not go on YouTube videos and shit on people who lift sumo in competition or in training, because there's nothing wrong with it. Just the heaviest deadlifts are not going to be sumo deadlifts
yet.
And it's just as Mark said, it's harder. It is a more technical way to lift. Just because the range of motion is smaller doesn't mean that the lift is going to be easier and not for everybody.
I wonder if that fact is true for ladies.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like, so we have like Andy Bolton, Lehman, and
saying
Thor,
ladies have their
Shaw
legs open more than us.
Yeah, like all those guys are pulling conventional. The guys that have pulled 1,000 or high nines. Cone pulled 901.
Yeah,
but a lot of the 900,000 pulls are conventional. Mm-hmm. But you see ladies crushing 400, 500-pound deadlifts, all majority sumo.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Well, their hips are different.
True that.
I mean,
it's all different.
Yeah, I think that's a big factor. I think that typically, too, the women seem to have longer arms and longer legs than us, so that just kind of puts them in a different position as well. They seem to be able to lift a lot more, don't take this the wrong way, ladies, a lot more sloppy than us, and to be able to get away with it, I think due to the fact that their arms are longer, typically, and their torsos are usually a little shorter.
Yeah, I think that's true.
We have a question about smoking weed. And I think I know why this guy's asking this question, but
because he smokes a lot of weed. And no one asks about alcohol or weed that doesn't smoke or drink.
Give him the answer that he wants. He wants to know if it's going to affect muscle growth.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's actually a booster.
Yeah,
get after it, buddy.
Yeah. There you go. He says specifically. He says he wants to know how it's going to affect muscle growth and stuff.
I don't know how it affects man stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've never read any research on it.
It could affect your desire to want to go to the gym.
Man stuff.
Want to go to train today? I don't care. Just going to sit here and play Madden 2007 all day, bro.
Eat some Doritos.
Mike, what do you got coming up? What's your goals? You're dropping some weight?
I got nothing. Yeah, I'm dieting a little bit.
You're in there doing like step aerobics and stuff. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I'm doing max effort Bulgarian split squats.
I was sitting there watching Mike. I'm like, we lost him.
That's really exciting. I'm actually going to try to deadlift for the first time today.
Oh.
I'm going to be traveling all of July, so I'm going to try to not to lift heavy so I don't get more hurted.
Mm-hmm.
And then just try to eat well.
He'll be in the Los Angeles area for anybody who wants to run up to him and hit him or try to attack him or anything. Or anybody.
I'll also be in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, Nolans.
Yeah, with Matt Vincent.
Yeah, I forgot about Nolans. That's coming right up. That's that like strength expo.
Yeah, in a week.
Oh, my God.
Heading to Nolans.
I'll be in Nova Scotia when this
there's no
posts.
humans there, right?
Mm.
Yeah, there.
Oh.
I mean, it's kind of way up there. We're going to Cape Breton, which is like way the fuck up there.
Not as populated as
and
Toronto.
it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful, coastal areas in the world. But
snowy?
No.
Oh.
No, it's not. I'm not going to Alaska.
I don't know.
No.
You just say north. I just think Santa Claus.
It's not in the north like that.
You're just trying to drop some LBs, Mike, for the summertime? Look good? Be handsome?
Just because I kind of got injured or hurt or whatever I did. Just figured it's time.
Blew out your back and your butthole at the same time?
My neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack. So I decided to drop some LBs.
So you're going down in weight.
Yeah.
And I'm going the opposite direction.
This might be the first time we're going the opposites. Often we cut and bulk together.
I'm trying to hold the middle.
Trying to hold some sort of middle ground.
Yeah, I'm going to get down to 150 pounds, I decided. And maybe go for IPF Worlds.
150?
Yeah. Some guy, I think the 140-pound class guys open squatted 501. So stupid.
Jesus.
Do you have any goals in terms of body weight or not really? Just trying to drop some? And
I'll just go by looks. I looked, I like kind of how I looked around 195 pounds maybe 13, 14 months ago.
195-pound piece of ace.
Yeah. So hopefully I can look similar, a little heavier. I think that's always a goal.
I don't care what you do, but personally I like you at 193.
193 is hard. I've touched 193 once in the last maybe 10 years.
Because you're a fat kid?
Yeah.
Damn.
Fat.
I've never. I don't think I skipped that whole
190s.
that whole weight class. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. The furthest I could remember, I was like $175 playing basketball, but that's like doing cardio every single day on top of basketball practice. Like my body just wants to be fat, I think.
Yeah, I think cardio helps a lot, especially if you have that fat kid background.
Yeah, it's hard.
All right, I think that's it. We got anything else?
That's it. That's all.
Anything else?
Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. Multiply a hustle. May all your shits be tapered. I'm at Mark Smillybell on Instagram and Twitter. Later.
Big shout out to all our sponsors, 8Man Strong Apparel at 8manstrong.com. Bodybuilding.com for all your supplement needs.
I don't like those guys, those 8-man guys.
Yeah.
Those guys been text bombing me.
Just blowing you up?
He doesn't understand I don't know how to read.
Maybe tell him to send voice memos.
Like, oh, my God. Yeah, he did.
Oh,
he
there
started
you go.
doing.
Yeah, then
he started doing recordings and stuff.
Yeah, now you can understand.
He if he doesn't get a hold of me, calls the cops.
Holy shit.
I know.
He cares about you.
Damn.
Also, shout out to Urban Ice Organics to connect your mind and your body at naturalorganicswithanx.com. Silent Mike, 2Ks. I'm out of here.
We out.
And thanks to Caveman Coffee, as always. I'm Jim McD, STTV, everywhere that I would want you to find me, which is Instagram and Twitter. And follow the show on Instagram at Mark Bell's PowerCast. We're out. Mark Bell's PowerCast is a production of supertraining.tv.